Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I appreciate all the views and comments and likes, everything you guys are doing and really helping me out. And right now I'd like to remind you guys to subscribe because I know I always forget to subscribe when I'm watching another person's channel, so we can do that now. Let's get that out of the way and I can start this video. Okay, today I'm going to talk about, or actually not even talk, I'm gonna answer all of the questions that I've been asked. All of these questions have been from my comments, or I just know other people ask these common questions. So I try to respond to every single comment that I get, but it's really hard to keep up. And also, I answer a lot of the questions that are already, just questions are being asked again. So I just want to clear everything right here so you can refer to this video for any of the questions that you have. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to start off with, how do I start? What's the process? What do I need? So you start by getting your notary commission. So a loan signing agent is essentially a notary that specializes in loan signings. So what you need to do is get your notary commission. That is a process within itself. And a lot of people also ask, how long is that process? How long does it take to get your notary commission? Because of the pandemic, I think it's going to take you about 3 months because everything from the county is shut down. So when I did it, it took me, I believe, 2 months in the midst of the pandemic. That was the beginning of the pandemic, and that was just normally. That was, you know, normal times before pre-COVID. It took about 2 months. So now that it is COVID time, quarantine, pandemic, whatever, it's just taking forever. So if you plan to start this as soon as possible, I know a lot of people get really excited. They're like, I'm gonna start now, I'm really motivated. Make sure that motivation lasts for a few months because it's gonna take a process. But while you're waiting for your notary commission, I suggest that you start doing your loan signing courses, teaching whatever you need to do to learn how to sign. So you can, like I said, it's gonna take about 3 months. Take that time to study everything, and then by the time you get your notary commission, you can start signing, because you cannot sign without your notary commission. That's the whole point of being a loan signing agent, is being a notary. So make sure you get that done first. And another question that ties into how do I get started, to become a notary, I suggest you just Google Secretary of State California, or Secretary of State whatever state you're in. So this is going to give you the whole process of, when you search Secretary of State, your state, make sure to search Notary Commission or Notary Public. So from there, you're gonna find the link that's gonna say, or it's gonna go through the whole process of what you need to do to become a notary. So those are all your steps right there. And again, I think it will take about 3 months, not just from somebody from California. I think every state is also going through the same issues. So just be aware of that, but that's what you need to do to get started. It's just a simple Google search, honestly. It's really what it is. And then from there you can go through the NNA, or like I suggested, I'm sure there's cheaper routes, cheaper schools or certified classes that can teach that. But yeah, everything is online. I think this one follows that same question, but I get a lot of questions asking, can you teach us how to study for the exam, or can you do a video on the exam? Is the exam hard? First off, the exam is not hard. You're just regurgitating all the information that you just learned within those like 20, or sorry, not 20 minutes. Oh my God, it's like 6 hours of class. So it is a lot, but you're just regurgitating that information. So just take as many notes as you can and you'll be fine. And I personally cannot teach you because my state is different. We have different regulations for notaries, notary law, all that stuff. And also that might be illegal for me to teach that too, because it needs to be certified. So really, I mean, I don't know if other people are teaching online, just make sure that it is certified. People ask me if I'm part-time or full-time. I am technically full-time. It's kind of hard to answer that because there's some days where I won't work, like once a week, or maybe 2 times a week I won't work, once or twice, 1 day out of the week or 2 days out of the week. Last week it was 1 day. I didn't work last Monday. Today, well, no, I do have a signing today. This week, again, my schedule is all over the place. It's very random and sporadic. So that's why I would like to say part-time, but for the most part, I'm doing 30+ hours. And I also counted the time that I use to market myself. So yeah, I would say full-time. But yeah, you can do this if you're doing it part-time, or if you have another job, if you're busy with something else. A lot of people do this as a side hustle, so it's totally manageable. It's just how you manage your time. So a lot of people ask, can I do this if I have a full-time job? Yeah, you can. It's just your willingness and your determination to actually learn everything. It's a lot, but if you can stay motivated and just know that this is going to better your financial status, you know, go for it. I would suggest like maybe just studying on the weekends, because I think it took me about like a week to study everything. So if you can use Saturdays and Sundays just to study, I think you'll be fine. I think you can set that time aside. And you know what, we're in quarantine, nobody's going out, or you shouldn't be. Use that time wisely, you know, invest in this time right now, because after this, you know, you'll be ready to maybe start your own company. So that's what I suggest. And I know this is different coming from a person that doesn't have a full-time job or didn't have a full-time job, and I don't have kids. I don't understand that struggle, but just know that you can easily fit in the time if you really, really want it. So yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. So for those people that are working full-time, a lot of the signings do happen during the evening, so that's when you would be able to take the signings. All these other people that I'm signing for work 9 to 5s as well. So if you think about it, everyone's doing signings in the evening because that's when they're not working. So use that time to your advantage. Even, you know, if you have kids, maybe just do one signing, maybe at 6 p.m., you know, have a babysitter or family member watch them for like an hour. It's only an hour. I think it's totally doable. I also get asked, are the signings local or where you're signing? So this depends all on you and how you set your radius. So on signing services, you put in your address and they send you signings for whatever area that you're in. And you can choose like a 30-mile radius, 60-mile radius, 90, 200. It's really up to you. So you get to decide for that. And another question I get is, how am I handling this with COVID right now? And again, I just take all the precautions that I can. Wearing masks. I don't wear gloves just because I'm scared that everything I touch with my gloves, like I'm constantly on my phone while I'm signing too, because I have other calls coming in, or if I have to call escrow officers. So to me, it just feels a little more chaotic, and I wouldn't feel as safe with the gloves on. But a lot of hand sanitizer, of course, and what else do I use? Yeah, I mean, I've had some signers, of course, that are like immune compromised, and a lot of them will ask to sign outside, which I'm totally comfortable with and I prefer, except it is getting colder now, so it is a little bit hard, but it is, you know, it just keeps all of us safe. So just take all the precautions that you can right now. Okay, another common question, and I think a lot of people get confused by this, is what kind of insurance do I need, or what is E&O insurance, what is a bond? So I discussed a little bit about this on my startup costs. So your bond, you do need this in whatever state you're in, you get your bond, and that protects the public from any notarial mistakes. So it doesn't protect you as a notary, it only protects the public. And the E&O insurance protects you, the notary, from any of your notarial mistakes. So E&O insurance, I also explained this in my other video. You want to get it you don't want to get it through the NNA, because I just learned that that one does not cover you as a signing agent. The E&O insurance from Berkshire, I think that's the name of it, I have to double check. They actually cover you for all of your loan signing agent mistakes. So that could be from forgetting the drop-off time, you know, missing the drop-off time, so the loan gets delayed, things like that, or of that sort. So that one is very confusing, but if you're gonna get your E&O insurance, or you're in the process of that right now, don't get it through the NNA, because that's what I did, and I'm definitely gonna have to replace that with a Berkshire one, if that's the name for it. I mean, I'll add the link below if I can, or I will find it. Another popular question is, what signing services do you use? So when I first got started, I saw a lot of SnapDocs being thrown around. Everyone was talking about SnapDocs, so I signed up for signing services while I was still learning, just so that I was already getting the notifications, and that when I was ready to sign, I could get the ball rolling. Like everything was already set up for me. So SnapDocs, they do like a response rate. I think all of them rate you But if you don't respond, then you also get like I'm at a 53% response rate, and I guess that doesn't really look good. I mean, I still get signings. I personally don't think it has harmed me. Maybe it does. If somebody can explain why, that would be helpful, but I don't think it's really harmed me. And so there's SnapDocs, and then Notary Go. I was getting a lot of signings from them too when I first started. Actually, that is how I got my first signing, because I took their lowball offer of $60, so do not take a signing for that low. At least get 75 or 80, like 60 was just so low. Notary Go, I used them a few times when I was starting out. Their rates aren't as competitive as signature closers. That's the next one that I use, and I highly prefer them. I was able to negotiate 200 with them on one of my closings, which is a lot for a signing service, and also 180. I did a signing for 180 yesterday for them. So, and I really like them because they pay exactly 1 month out. So all these other signing services will pay net 30 days from when you originally signed. And I just got a large check today actually from Signature Closers, and it felt so good to get like all of my payments in one check. So that's nice. Signature Closers, I also use, what other one? Field Choice. I just don't like them though, because they lowball me. Even though I've set my rates pretty standard, they continue to send me signings for $85, and I'm not going to do a signing for $85 regardless of how close it is. I just won't go under $100. And you can decide for yourself too if you like to take that. It's not a big deal, maybe from where you're from, but gas in especially Los Angeles, it's expensive. There's traffic here. It's just not worth the headache for me. So those are the ones I think I use most of the time. Other than that, escrow officers. So I do get, whenever I'm not busy with escrow officers, I try to fill up all my schedule with signing services. But again, I'm always counter offering the fee, so that could be a hit or miss. Sometimes I can get lucky, sometimes it won't. So yeah, you want to sign up with as many services as possible to widen your chances and your business opportunities. So I also signed up with Amrock. They recruited me and they're horrible. I've only taken a signing with them once. The only good thing about them is that they do direct deposit, but again, that signing I got for like $110, which is good, but every other signing is $85, and they try to lock you in at that rate, saying that you signed up for this, and it's really hard to get out of that. So I'm just not even going to use them because it's not worth it to me. So with that being said, a lot of other people ask about what are the rates. So what rates do you charge? And again, this differs from signing service to escrow officers. So for signing services, I charge about, you can charge under 100. You can charge 75. I think that's usually the average. 75 for like refinance, maybe HELOC. It really depends. Each document is different. I've been doing a lot of refinances, and that is really popular right now. So I'm just gonna give you the fees for those because I can't remember the other ones right now. But 75 to like, I guess I'll say 200 because I did get lucky with a $200 offer one time. But usually it's like 75 to 150 is the average of what you can get from signing services. So I always try to set an offer for a higher rate, just to see if I get lucky. But those are the average rates. For escrow officers, I charge about minimum 150 for refinances, and the most I get from them is like 300. So 150 to 300 from escrow officers, and that's why you want to sign with escrow officers, because with signing services, they're cutting a check from your notary fee. So yeah, I don't really like that because again, signing services, they're the middleman. So you have to go through all communication with them, and it's really, to me, it's hectic and it's just disorganized. So, I mean, not all signing services are disorganized, but to me, I'd rather just have direct communication with the loan officer, escrow officer, regarding payments or any of the questions that I have for the signing. So that's just my preference, but yeah, those are the fees that I charge for signing services and escrow officers. Following that, I also get asked, how do I get paid? So I told you that Amrock direct deposits, that's the only signing service that I know or that I work with that gives direct deposit. I also get checks. I just get checks from every other company. I get checks from every other signing service, and as I was putting it into my Notary gadget, that's what I use to organize all of my payments. I realized that it's kind of confusing to keep track of everything. You really just have to stay organized. That's the most advice I can give on that, because it's just very detailed and it's a lot. But I get checks from everybody. Signing services, again, you get paid net 30 days out. Escrow officers, I can get a check as fast as 2 weeks, maybe within even a week. It just depends on whenever their loan closes. They're gonna pay you like immediately after, or I think that's what I've been told, but it could be different. So 2 weeks from escrow officers. That's why I prefer, again, to work with escrow officers, because I get paid more and I get the money right away. So yes. I also get asked what printer do I have, and I literally for the life of me cannot remember the exact model number. It's really long. Just know that it's a Brother MFC something, but I can add a picture of it here or here. Again, mine came with a scanner, and a lot of you asked, do you need a scanner? Yes and no. I see a lot of people on my Facebook group that just bought a scanner separately. I don't know if that, I'm sure it costs more. I don't really know how economically how that plays out, but you could do that. I did get the printer with the scanner. However, because of that, I can't add a second dual tray to my printer. So don't get the printer that I have. Yeah, because I'm gonna invest in a different printer in the coming months. Maybe after I get paid for the month of December, because to me that's an investment. I'm trying to save time and be efficient. That makes up it. I mean, all the cost of the new printer is gonna make up for it. So I just hate sorting. I hate sorting through a document or legal letter. Like it takes a while to organize. So do get a dual tray printer, please. And then a lot of dual tray printers don't come with a scanner, or they're just more expensive. So I think that's why people opt into getting the scanner. I don't know the situation, but if you're gonna get a printer, just make sure that it's laser and that it's dual tray. That's really all that you need. And then the scanner, yes, kind of optional, but up to you. I also know that some people use like an app on their phone to scan, but I don't know how time efficient that is either. How do I dress for signings? What am I supposed to wear? So yes, you are required to wear business casual. You are representing the escrow officer and signing service, I guess. So you want to dress as professional as possible. I'll insert a clip of what I wore to one of my signings yesterday. I do wear denim with the escrow officers that I'm comfortable with, because I built a relationship with them and they've seen me walk into the office with my denim. And I do elevate my outfits though. Like I always make sure to wear either like some sort of heel or boot, just to make it look again, elevated, put together, clean. So that's really what you're going for. So just look representable. That's the main point. I also get asked, how do I prepare for signings? So now when I prepare for signings as compared to before when I first started, what I do to prepare is that I will enter my signing in my Notary gadget. Again, that's my database that organizes all of my signings. It breaks down notarial acts, mileage, what escrow officer or what signing service gave it to me. So I put it in there just to stay organized, and then from there I look up how far the signing is, you know, how much time do I need to get ready for this, and then from there I print the documents. But when I print, again, it takes me a while because I have to organize from letter and legal, so that definitely adds some time to my preparation. That's what I do now, but before I was just making sure everything went smoothly. So I would go through every single page and put a little post-it next to everything that I needed to sign so that I wouldn't forget. And definitely do this if you are starting out, because you really want to get comfortable with the documents and make sure you're not missing anything. So I think literally after 3 signings, like I stopped putting the post-it thing in there, because first of all, it was taking me like another 30 plus minutes just to do that. And then by that time also I was just comfortable and I knew where all the signatures were needed. So there was just no point. It was a waste of time to add that in after. So that's what I do to prepare. Sometimes I'll add in like jurats if I have time, and a lot of documents are missing jurats. Maybe with the signing services that I go through, they do forget to add them. So I'll go in and add those, or sometimes you'll get documents that have like a notarial statement at the bottom, but they are missing like a certified acknowledgement through the state of California. So I need to add that in manually. So sometimes I prepare for that, sometimes I do that at the signing, but I always make sure to print like 30 copies of a jurat and an acknowledgement so I come prepared to the signing. All right, a lot of you also ask, how do I do taxes? Can you do a video on taxes? Can you explain how to do taxes for a loan signing agent? And unfortunately, I cannot legally, help you guys out with that because I don't fully understand it and I'm not a certified tax person, but I can tell you so far what I've been told. So don't take this as a final word. Please do your research. Every state is different. Again, every case is different. Your financial situation might be different from mine. So please speak to somebody about this. But I had a consultation with a few tax consultants and I was told that that mobile notaries or notary publics are exempt from independent or self-employment tax. So I still don't fully understand how that's going to work, but that's why, again, I'm going to make another call with the tax consultant. You need to make sure that you are keeping track of all your notarial acts because that is what you can write off on your taxes because you are a state worker. You are certified through the state. So I believe they're able to use that, and that's why you're exempt from independent self-employment taxes. So please, again, do your research on that. Also, for taxes, you really want to stay organized. Like, I just spent an hour before this organizing all of my checks, making sure I was paid for this one, making sure I had the check for them, like actually in my folder, so I knew that I would be able to show these when I do my taxes. So I also keep track of my mileage. I use an app for that. It's called Mile IQ. I pay for it because I pay for the premium service because it automatically tracks all of your driving. So I always forget, especially if I'm in a rush to get to a signing or from one signing to another. That's just not the first thing on my mind. So this will just track all of your mileage behind you, or just manually, so you won't even have to do anything. I pay $6 for that $5.99, so it's worth the headache for me because I'm not going to go in and do it myself. I use Mile IQ. I also use Notary Gadget. Notary Gadget keeps track of everything. I explained that earlier. Definitely use that, or some people do use QuickBooks. Again, that's up to you. I might start looking into that soon as well. And what else do I track? Any other expenses like my printer, I printed out that receipt, toner, paper, any office supplies that you use for this. What else? There's truly a lot that you might be able to deduct, and I say might because I don't know what I can fully deduct yet. But yeah, mileage is so important. Mileage, notarial acts, and office supplies. Those are the main things that you want to keep in mind when you're starting the process, because when the time taxes comes around, you'll be prepared and ready to go. Another question I get asked is, what mistakes have I made and how can I learn from them? So I have gone over some of these mistakes in my other videos, but again, I think this is very common with everybody. It's missing a signature. Like the first VA loan that I did, I just didn't even see the signature line because that same page had a signature line at the bottom, and we completely missed the one in the middle, me and him, and I double checked that one. So triple check, just be as safe as possible because you don't want to get called back to go back to that person's house and sign again. It's really a waste of gas and time. So always just be on the defense. And also another mistake that I made, it was so horrible. Oh my god, I was so embarrassed. I forgot to print out the second set of documents that were on my email, and it was a long day, long morning, and I handed them to the escrow officer, and then 10 minutes later I was already home and she called me. She was like, where are the other set of documents? I was like, no, oh my god. And I checked my email and I didn't print them. I forgot. And that was because I was so scatterbrained with all of the signings I had that day. That was my first day that I had like 5-6 signings in one day. So you want to stay as organized as possible when you're when you're printing out the documents for the next day, because that's what I didn't do. I was not organized. My mind was all over the place. And I think, I mean, I'm not really gonna make excuses, but having my printer does make it a little bit more difficult, because I do have to think about, okay, I need to print the letter for this set of documents, the legal for this set of documents, and then if the escrow officer is sending you 2 sets of documents, then I have to repeat that again, letter and legal, letter and legal. So that, I think, is what disoriented me in that time. But because I know now, I always make sure to double check. So that's very important. Okay, and this is also a question that I haven't been asked this personally, but this is something that I see from people that are just apprehensive about this whole industry. Yes, it looks like a multi-level marketing company or some fake, just, you know, one of those companies, but like you truly can make as much money as you want. There are no limitations. So yes, a lot of this stuff is clickbaity, and yeah, I do it too, but it does work. Like, you can make money doing this. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's oversaturated, and that is something that I see most people say that are very negative about this industry. They're like, oh, that's oversaturated, everyone's doing it. How many loan signing agents are there anyway in that city? Like, I just see that very often, and I think, I personally don't think that it's an oversaturated market. Because, okay, maybe you see all these people signing up for being a signing agent and a notary, but like, how many people are actually following through with it? Because I feel like sometimes a lot of people will get into it and then realize how hard it is. I'm not trying to glamorize it in any way. Like, you do have your rough days, like as you've seen my days in life. And some people just won't follow through with it. They just quit because it gets hard. So that's why I feel like part of it isn't oversaturated, because you get those people that aren't finishers. They just don't finish what they started. So there's that. So those are all of the questions that I have for this video. If you have any other questions, make sure to ask me below. I will try to get back to them. And yeah, that was a lot of questions. I try to get everything, but I know there's just 1,000 more about this industry. So yeah, just let me know and I'll try to get back to it. So thank you guys so much. If you watch this all the way through, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon.